Hello guys, we have a 10-game NBA slate for January 23rd. There's already a lot of injury news that we have to monitor, and certainly with the 10-game slate, there certainly will be even more injury news that we have to watch, so definitely be on the lookout for that. First off, I like to say that there's not a lot of guys that I can just say I'm going to be locking into my lineup as of now. There are a bunch of players that I really have interest in since this is a huge slate, so I'm probably not going to be able to give you guys like my top 5 players, but I'm gonna have a lot of like players that I'm gonna recommend. Certainly not locks though, just guys that I really like, and just reasons for that. So starting off for point guard, D'Angelo Russell, 8K. He's been playing really well lately, and he's had very good history against the Magic. Certainly like last game or 2 games ago against the Magic, he had 40 real life points, 58.5 DK points. Certainly his price is up, but it's looking like his minutes are a little bit safer now. And he's at home where I like D'Lo a lot more, especially when differing from when he's on the road. So D'Angelo Russell, he had a great game 2 games ago, and then in the past he's had a 29-point game and a 16, 12, and 5 game last year. So he's certainly had his way against DJ Augustine. So I like D'Lo as a play. I don't think he's gonna be that high owned either. I don't think anybody's gonna really be that high owned except like maybe James Harden, some of the value plays since this is a 10-game slate. Next, Mike Conley, 7.5K against the Hornets. Kemba Walker is certainly not a imposing defender here. Conley has a 27.9% usage rate without Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, Joakim Noah, and Chandler Parsons on the floor. The Hornets do rank 18th against the opposing point guards, so definitely not that threatening. And without Gasol, if he were to miss, it'd be a 26.6% usage rate, which is actually a little bit of a drop, but that's because of a small sample size and only 140 minutes. So definitely, I think this game should stay close with Memphis being at home. Charlotte does play faster than Memphis does, obviously, so it's a pace-up spot for the Grizzlies here. Conley, price is about right, not like a discount or anything, but the matchup is certainly a positive one here. Next, moving on to Chris Dunn, 6.3K against the Hawks. The Hawks rank pretty much last in a lot of rankings against opposing point guards. They rank last versus point guards, and for steals, they allow a ton of steals. They allow the most steals. So Chris Dunn, definitely a guy that can get you steals and blocks, certainly is going to be able to capitalize on that. He's a guy that can get you multiple steals a game, so definitely Trae Young can turn the ball over. Chris Dunn's going to get his hands on a lot of those. He's playing 30-plus minutes a night now. Definitely his scoring is really not there, but he does have a 28.9% usage rate, and that's without like Wendell Carter on the floor, and then Jabari Parker, Bobby Portis in limited minutes. So Chris Dunn here definitely has a double-double upside here with the Hawks, and this game should stay close because the Bulls are at home. They're actually favored right now. So this game I do like. Chris Dunn should be able to do pretty well here. I don't expect him to be really that popular. And then other point guards, Spencer Dinwiddie. If you're not going to be on D'Angelo Russell, he's definitely a nice money saver, 5.5K. DJ Augustine, definitely interesting against Brooklyn, D'Lo defense. And if you're going to play Nikola Vucevic, Augustine and Vucevic correlate pretty well. And then Fred VanVleet, obviously Kyle Lowry as well. I forgot to mention him up here. But he could rest because it's a back-to-back. Pacers are a pretty tough matchup, but Kawhi's already been rolled out, and Lowry's usage, even though he doesn't take as many shots as we were accustomed to seeing compared to like the previous seasons, Lowry's still going to have a ton of usage here because of just Kawhi not being on the floor. And then also Jamal Murray, 7.1K. Rudy Gobert's defended Nikola Jokic pretty well in the past. Obviously, Jokic has definitely stepped up his game even more this season, but this game's going to be away. So definitely Jokic could be, at least Gobert could definitely give Jokic some problems. So Jamal Murray's actually stepped up in previous years, like last year, he stepped up when Jokic was struggling against Gobert. So Murray certainly is going to be very low owned, single-digit ownership. Not going to be a guy that I'm going to have probably, but if you're playing like a max entry tournament, 150 max, definitely take some shots at Jamal Murray. I think he definitely makes a lot of sense, and nobody's going to be on him. And then moving on back down, Fred VanVleet, same thing. Kawhi's going to be out, 4.6K only. He's going to be really chalky, but you kind of just have to bite it, especially if Kyle Lowry's out, then VanVleet's just a lock. So that's the play that I'd say I probably put in my core. Moving on though, Jeremy Lin 4.2K. This game should stay close, so Lin's minutes could be a little bit down, but this is a terrific matchup. Chicago doesn't really play defense. Both of these teams just allow a lot of points. Should be a high scoring game. And then TJ McConnell 3.9K. Spurs definitely a tougher matchup, slower pace matchup, but if Ben Simmons or Jimmy Butler are going to miss, McConnell's going to get a lot of usage here. And then moving on, Patty Mills 3.7K against the Sixers. 3.7K is pretty cheap for just the kind of usage and the minutes that this guy can get off the bench. Philly's not been the best against point guards here. So Patty Mills 3.7K, pretty cheap for kind of like the points that he can get. Has a little bit of upside, 30-point upside, and he's only 3.7K, so definitely a nice value play if we're going to try to fit in like a guy like James Harden. And then moving on, other guys at point guard, Corey Joseph, 3.5K, same thing. He's pretty cheap, doesn't have like a ton of upside, but definitely can get you a safe floor. And then Shelvin Mack, I would say a little bit better of upside compared to Corey Joseph and Patty Mills, McConnell. But Mack, obviously he has a lower floor than all those guys, and his minutes are all over the place. So we never know, but this is a pretty nice matchup, pace-up spot again. So definitely, if some of these Grizzlies players were to miss, like Marc Gasol, Mack could be in for some extra minutes. Moving on to shooting guard. At the top, James Harden, we know about him. Madison Square Garden also, blowout, doesn't really matter to me. Harden's going to have to do a whole lot for it to be a blowout, so regardless if it's a blowout or not here, James Harden, it really doesn't matter for him. Should see probably like around 80 DraftKings points, possibly maybe 70. 70, I'd say like it's still fadeable just because of the price. There's a lot of guys, as I said, that I just really like in like the 9s and the 8, 7K range. So Harden probably not like a lock this slate because it is a 10-game slate. On a shorter slate, I'd say yeah, you definitely have to play him, but I don't think it's that's the case here. Next, DeMar DeRozan 7.6K against Sixers. Jimmy Butler, if he were to play, then certainly that's a little bit of a knock to DeRozan, but he's actually fared pretty well against Jimmy Butler defense in the past when he was on the Timberwolves, and this is a pace-up spot for the Spurs. Philly does have the 6th fastest pace, and it's going to be kind of tough to play Conley. As I mentioned earlier, he's going to be very low owned because DeRozan definitely has more upside than Conley. Probably, I don't know, like they're both kind of not really similar, but I'd say DeRozan just has that higher upside, and he's only 100 more, so I probably would rather play DeRozan over Conley, but certainly it's daily fantasy, so anything can happen, but DeRozan definitely just in a pretty solid spot here. Next, Jimmy Butler. If you were to play, definitely you need to consider him, especially if Ben Simmons is out with his illness. And then next is Jeremy Lamb. 5.3K, not going to be popular to play, but he is pretty cheap now. And Memphis does rank 22nd against opposing shooting guards, and they actually allow the 3rd most 3-pointers. And Lamb is a guy that definitely can rebound the ball, and the Grizzlies are pretty bad at rebounding. So Lamb could definitely get, a nice floor really with rebounds and the kind of threes that he can knock down here. And they're away, which Lamb doesn't really have any struggles with, and he's only 5.3K on the 10-game slate. Nobody's gonna have him. Definitely go out and get you like a 40 if he's shooting well and getting you those rebounds. Moving on to small forward is Taurean Prince, 4.9K. If Kevin Huerter is out, Prince does have a 24.1 usage rate without Huerter and Bazemore, which is only a 0.5% increase from if Huerter were to be on the court. But here he should see a lot more minutes. He's not under restriction anymore. So if Huerter were to miss, this is a pretty nice play for Prince. 4.9K only. Again, Bulls not solid at all. But if you look at like rankings, the defense against positions, sure the Bulls are pretty solid against opposing small forwards actually. But that's actually been the result of blowouts, and they haven't actually played a ton of top small forwards. Like they haven't played, Durant or LeBron because they've been hurt or something, Kawhi, or like guys that just haven't really played. And then if they play like Giannis, then it's just a complete blowout. So that's why that these small forwards haven't really been hitting. So it's definitely not a concern for me seeing like going off of those rankings. Next is Reggie Bullock. If Andre Drummond is out, definitely a guy that can just stroke it from three. New Orleans gives up a lot on the wings, and they allow a lot of threes, so Reggie Bullock could be a nice GPP play. And then Chandler Hutchinson, 4.1, or no, he's 3.8K. He's getting a lot of minutes, so definitely you can look at him. Norman Powell as well. He's 3.7K with Kawhi out. And then Justin Holiday and Omri Caspi, 3.7, 3.5. Since they're going to get the minutes, and it's a nice matchup. And especially if Marcus Gasol is out, that's going to be more shots for them. And then power forward, Blake Griffin, 9.7K, going to be pretty popular. He's had a 30.8% usage rate. And if Drummond is off, also with H. Smith off, 35.8, so that's a 5% increase. Huge difference, and New Orleans does allow the most threes to power forwards, and Griffin, we know that he likes to take some threes. He's been taking actually a good amount these past few games. Like, it's varied, but, he's taking double-digit threes in some cases as well. So certainly he can definitely get, some nice points just from threes. And he's going to be handling the ball a lot too. Definitely has a triple-double upside, and he has a huge 70-point upside here, especially if Drummond were to miss, and New Orleans does play at the 8th fastest pace. So Blake Griffin, a solid play, even at 9.7K. And then Julius Randle, 8.4K with Anthony Davis out. He gets a 4.1% usage increase with 80 off the court to 32.1%. And 8.4K, definitely a little bit pricey. Especially with Jahlil Okafor playing a lot of minutes. I think we probably shouldn't expect that kind of minutes from Okafor in the future, but it's definitely a little bit concerning. But in this matchup, I'd say if Drummond were to miss, definitely the Pelicans can just go with Randall and Mirotic at the 4 and the 5. So I think that's going to be totally okay, and Randall can definitely see his usual minutes, not just the 27 that he saw last game. So definitely Randall is a play that has a ton of upside, really. And then next we have Tobias Harris, 7.8K. Miami is 23rd against opposing power forwards, so definitely in play, especially with Gallinari out and Lou Will on a miss restriction. Maybe Lou Will even sits this one out because it's a back-to-back. But the Clippers are on the back-to-back, so there's some concern with that. Also, the Raptors on the back-to-back, so maybe you don't want to go with those teams. But for the Raptors, definitely there's value, so you kind of have to consider that. And then next is Nikola Mirotic, 7K. Same thing with Randall, just the usage and the shots that you can get, the minutes with that 80 off the court. So Mirotic, 7K, still solid play. And then Lauri Markkanen, 6.6K against the Hawks. The Hawks are dead last against opposing power forwards. They give up the most steals and the second most three-pointers. And definitely Lauri Markkanen gets you defensive stats. And this is a solid matchup for those. And he shoots a ton of threes. And this is the matchup for him to definitely take advantage of that. Has a 50-point ceiling, really. Definitely can go over that. This game should stay close. All signs point to a pretty solid night for Markkanen. Obviously, if he stays out of foul trouble. And then Pascal Siakam, 6.2K, is the Pacers with everyone, or not everyone, but just the rest that the Raptors are doing right now with Kawhi. So Siakam, 6.2K, pretty solid price tag. Definitely a solid cash game play. Next, Jaren Jackson, 5.3K if Marcus Gasol is out. Bigs against Charlotte's definitely been pretty solid without Cody Zeller. Even with Zeller in, Bigs have definitely been able to take advantage. So I like that if Marcus Gasol is out. And then moving on to center, we have Joel Embiid. Not a guy that I'm going to go to if Butler and Simmons were to play, but if one of them were to miss, definitely I'm going to consider that. And then Nikola Vucevic, he's in an absolutely amazing spot again here against the Brooklyn Nets. Away doesn't really matter to me. I'd say Vucevic is a bit safer than Blake, actually, even though the usage rate's a little bit lower. He has a 30.4% usage rate without Gordon. If Gordon were to be in, he's at a 28.2, so not a huge difference. But the Nets are 27th against centers, 27th in giving the most rebounds, and then they're 23rd in allowing the most assists. So a lot of nice just signs that point to a huge game for Vucevic. 9,300 here. Regardless if Gordon's playing or not, this is an absolutely great matchup. I'd say he definitely hits 5x here, gets you close to 50, probably over 50. Great upside, 70, close to 80. And just a solid play against Jared Allen or Ed Davis or whoever they threw out at him. Yeah, so Vucevic I really like. And then Drummond, if he plays, could be interesting. Marc Gasol, if he plays, definitely, bigs against Charlotte. And just the Hornets have actually given up the most blocks to opposing centers, so definitely something that Marc Gasol can take advantage of there. And then Hassan Whiteside, GPP play, he's only 6K against the Clippers on a back-to-back too. And Whiteside's at home where he plays better. 6K with 50, 60 point upside if he has one of his big games. He should definitely take advantage of this. There's no size on the Clippers team unless they put Boban, which they really don't want to do. Hassan Whiteside, same thing with Ian Cantor, who's at 5K that I really like. Just the upside that they have in GPPs. They're playing teams that don't really rebound the ball well, don't have bigs. So I really like both of them. Definitely, if you're playing multiple lineups, have some shares of them. They could definitely certainly only play like 20 minutes, but they have crazy upside if they were to sneak close to 30 minutes. And you're definitely going to want that, especially in GPPs. You want the upside. And then in between them, there's Serge Ibaka, 5.9K without Kawhi, and then Jared Allen, 5.8K. But Allen's minutes kind of have been down again recently after like 2 straight games of 30 plus minutes. So probably not a safe play there, especially if Vucevic is going to be dominating Allen. Probably not going to see a whole lot of playing time. And then Jahlil Okafor, as I mentioned before, but probably not the safest play. I'd probably say he plays around like 20 or under here in minutes. He can definitely still produce, but he's going to be going up against Blake or Drummond if he plays, or Zaza, something like that. Okafor definitely is not like a high usage kind of guy. He shot 9 of 11, which, it's not crazy to do when you're a big man, but, certainly 20 and 10, definitely not something that you want or you should expect out of Jahlil or 35 minutes. But definitely just a word to mention because of how well he did last game. And then Kenneth Faried, 4.4K against the Knicks. Minutes are kind of not really secure, but he's only 4.4K. I'd probably go to Cantor, honestly, for about the same minutes probably, and a lot more usage, a lot more upside probably. And then Zaza, 4.2K, just worth a mention if Drummond is out. And then Robin Lopez, if he were to start again, 3.8K. Hawks, not a good defensive team. He can be productive out there. He definitely can score a little bit. And get you blocks, get you some points, nice putbacks, layups, whatnot. So, not a bad play, 3.8K. And then Ed Davis, who is 3.8K also, against the Magic. It's not power forward eligible anymore, which kind of sucks because there's a lot of centers that are going to be really in play, and a lot of guys that I just really like at this position. But if he sees 20 plus minutes, definitely they're going to get size out there against Vucevic. He definitely has a nice floor, but kind of, not that secure as I thought, obviously, without on the 16th, but that was definitely an outlier, just because Houston didn't really have any bigs that game. But Ed Davis, solid play against Magic, 3.8K, and then Mitch Robinson, 3.6K. If Cantor were to not get his minutes, definitely you could see closer to 20 or 20 plus minutes if he sees out of foul trouble. Has some upside here because Houston doesn't really have any bigs, and he's at home too. Definitely could get blowout run. And then chalky play Aaron Baines. Certainly they could blow out, but he's not on minutes restriction anymore, and he's only 3.5K against the Cavs. The Cavs are horrible. Baines is at home, 3.5K. Probably going to start. Could be Tice or Robert Williams, so we're going to have to watch on that, but he's only 3.5K, and he can be really productive when he's out on the court. So definitely a guy that's going to be very chalky. Probably the chalkiest center play, and probably the best center play, really, for value centers, obviously. So guys that I really like right now, I would say Baines is it for center. And then depending on value, I think Lauri Markkanen definitely worth a look. And then Chris Dunn, and then Tarian Prince. Game stack, definitely a kind of like a different approach, especially on a 10 game slate. But this game, definitely, the guys are pretty cheap here, and this game should stay close. There's a lot of upside here. And if you want, definitely you could pay up for Harden. You still have a lot of salary. Or you can go with Whiteside or Cantor, who are in just smash spots. And there's a lot of other value plays like Van Vliet, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, these 5 for now gets you really, they're pretty much value plays here. You can fit in 3 studs. But really, these 2 guys are the ones that I'm going to be looking at a whole lot. For right now, things could change. Van Vliet could rest or something. Baines could pop up on the injury report, something crazy. So you never know. But this is what I have for now. So thank you guys for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to the channel. Please follow me at BobFools on Twitter. Link will be in the description below. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below on the video, or just DM me, tweet at me on Twitter. So thank you guys again. Bye.